in the before times, kind of thinking back prior to March of 2020, this is a very common scene in the office. Everybody's sitting in the conference room. What probably is not shown in this picture is the line of people outside the conference room with their laptops and notebooks waiting for these people to finish up their meeting so they can go in. And, there's always this jockeying for position on the to get the conference room, and conference room reservations is a big deal. But we were all together sitting there across from one another. I think it's interesting is that questions that get asked now in meetings, like, where are you physically located? Prior to this, you knew where they were because they're sitting in the office next to you, or you knew that they were in a satellite office. And now it's people are all over the place. Being in the office is fun. There's a lot of camaraderie that comes from that. There's a lot of engagement. People align to the same goals. You can get, face-to-face interaction. I think one of the things that the remote work does not do well is at the end of a meeting, you now click leave meeting, the little red button down in the bottom right. What happens in the real world, if you're in person, is that as you're gathering your stuff, you're like, so Michael, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, we got this going on. Hey, David, what are you doing? Oh, we got this going on. And those interpersonal things, you miss those when you're not in the office. Everyone had these like cool edgy workspaces. You're sitting shoulder to shoulder, ping pong tables and, LaCroix and Cliff bars. And then you had everybody this open concept office. Everybody thought that was fun and cool. Do people really want to come and sit shoulder to shoulder with people now during like allergy season when somebody like coughing and all this kind of stuff, or during flu season? I mean, these things are up in the air right now. What also came with in-person work was sometimes this soul-crushing commute, right? It takes forever. We're talking to a client up in the New York area, a prospect, and she was telling us that she lives in New Jersey and has to go to Midtown Manhattan to get home by 6 p.m. She has to leave her office at 3:30, right? And that's like, she wants to stay remote. She doesn't want that commute. You also had this tension of like, hey, when do I need to leave the office to get to my son's lacrosse game? Or when do I need to leave the office to get to this event for my daughter? And, am I going to feel guilty of leaving just a few minutes early to do that? What's traffic going to be like? Am I going to miss it? And also the positives of the commute for me, when I used to be in the office, is I liked that 20-minute commute to kind of change from work business David to dad and husband David, right? That 20 minutes, listen to some sports talk radio, and it's just kind of a way to like decompress and be ready to enter the home, versus now when I wrap up my day and I just literally open my sliding door over there and step out into the kitchen, and now there's no transition period. So I think as you think through this, we were all together, we were all liking being in the office, then everybody went in these little boxes, right? Is one day everyone went in these little boxes. If there was no plan, no company had really thought this through. If Michael and I ran a business and we told, with thousands of users, hey, we need to make everyone remote, that would have been like a 6-month process, right? HR would have been involved, logistics would have been involved, legal department would have been involved, so cybersecurity, all this stuff would have like been gone through. But instead it was grab the monitor off your desk, go home, and we'll let you know when to come back. So everybody just kind of made it happen. We're just now into March. If you're a basketball fan at all, March Madness is upon us, just around the corner. And one of the phrases about March Madness is survive in advance, right? Is it doesn't matter if you win your game by 1 point or you win it by 20, you win in the ugliest fashion possible. You just have to survive that game and advance to the next round. Survive in advance is how most companies have really kind of managed the last 2 years. Is we don't know what's next. Is it Delta? Is it Omicron? Are we coming back? We're not coming back. And so it's just survive in advance, just make it happen. Now, companies are beginning to return to the office and they want a plan. They're not just going to okay, everybody come back. They have to come up with a plan. So what does that really look like?